I sat in my Seattle apartment staring at the engagement ring on my coffee table. 3 years with Jessica. Wedding planned in 2 months. Everything seemed perfect until recently. She had been coming home late, distant her warmth replaced by something cold I could not quite name. Tonight I told myself I would talk to her about it. I bought her favorite Thai takeout lit candles, tried to recreate the magic we once had. But when she walked through that door at 10:30, looking at her phone instead of me, I knew something had already broken between us. Before we dive into what happened next, I want to ask you something. Where are you watching this from? Drop your location in the comments below. And if you are ready to hear how one sentence from my fiancé completely changed my life, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Because what happened next, let me just say, you will want to hear every single word of this. I had left work early that Friday, stopping by Royal Thai Kitchen on Madison Street to pick up Jessica's usual order. Pad See Ew with extra vegetables, tom yum soup, and those crispy spring rolls she always devoured. The paper bag felt warm in my hands as I rode the elevator up to our 10th floor apartment, imagining her face when she saw the surprise. Our place overlooked Elliott Bay with floor-to-ceiling windows that caught the sunset perfectly. I had moved in 2 years ago, saved every penny from my software engineering salary to afford it. Jessica moved in 6 months later, though technically she never contributed to rent. I never minded. Love was not about keeping score, I told myself. I set the table with our good plates, the ones we had registered for but never actually used. 2 candles, dimmed lights. I even queued up her Spotify playlist, the one with all those indie songs she claimed I never paid attention to. Everything was ready by 7:30. She said she would be home by 8. 8 came and went, then 9. At 9:45 I texted her, no response. At 10:15 I called, straight to voicemail. The food grew cold. The candles burned halfway down. I sat on the couch watching the wax drip, wondering if I was being paranoid, or if my gut feeling was trying to tell me something I was not ready to hear. When the door finally opened at 10:30, Jessica walked in without even looking at me. Her eyes were glued to her phone screen, thumbs moving rapidly across the keyboard. She was laughing at something, that light giggle she used to reserve for my jokes. "I got Thai food," I said, standing up. She glanced at the table, then back at her phone. "I already ate." "Oh, you could have texted me." "I was busy, Terrence. Work was insane today." She kicked off her heels and collapsed onto the armchair, the one farthest from where I stood, still scrolling. I tried to keep my voice steady. "How was your day? You seem stressed." It was fine. Her tone was flat, dismissive. She did not ask about mine. I sat down across from her, watching her face illuminated by the blue screen light. When had we become this two people sharing space but not lives? "Jess, can we talk about the honeymoon plans? I found this amazing resort in Maui that has—" She cut me off with a sharp laugh. "Maui. Really, that is so basic, Terrence." The word stung more than it should have. Basic. Like I was some generic template of a man, predictable and boring. "I thought you wanted beach," I said carefully. "I wanted adventure, something exciting. Not another cookie-cutter vacation that every other couple does." She finally looked up from her phone, and her eyes held something I had never seen before. Contempt. I swallowed hard. "Okay, we can look at other options. What about— Can we not do this right now? I am exhausted." But she was not too exhausted to keep texting whoever was making her smile at that screen. I watched her fingers fly across the keyboard, watched her bite her lip the way she used to when she texted me during our early dating days. "Who are you talking to?" The question came out before I could stop it. Her head snapped up. "Excuse me. I noticed you have been on your phone a lot lately, even during dinner, even when we are— Are you seriously monitoring my phone usage right now?" Her voice rose sharp and defensive. "That is controlling, Terrence. Really controlling." "I am not trying to control you. I am just noticing that we barely talk anymore, and maybe we barely talk because you are so boring." She stood up, phone clutched tight in her hand. "All you ever want to do is stay and watch movies, talk about work. Do you know how suffocating that is?" I felt like I had been slapped. "Jessica, where is this coming from?" "It has been coming for months, Terrence. You are just too oblivious to notice." My mind raced back through recent weeks, the way she flinched when I tried to hold her hand, How she stopped saying, "I love you" before bed. The mysterious team dinners that lasted until midnight. And that name I had seen flash on her screen last week when she left her phone on the counter. Just a letter. D. "Who is D?" I asked quietly. Her face went pale, then flushed red. "What?" "Last Tuesday. Your phone was on the counter while you showered. A text came in. From someone saved as just D. It said, 'Cannot wait to see you tomorrow.'" For a moment, something like guilt flickered across her features. Then it hardened into anger. "So now you are spying on my texts, going through my messages when I am not around." I did not go through anything. It popped up on the screen. I could not help but see it. "This is exactly what I am talking about." She was pacing now, her heels clicking against the hardwood floor. "You are paranoid, you are invasive, you do not trust me. How am I supposed to marry someone who does not trust me?" The irony of her words hit me like a physical force. She was the one acting suspicious, yet somehow I was the villain in this story. "I do trust you, Jess, or at least I am trying to, but you have to admit things have changed between us. You are different, distant, and I just want to understand why." She stopped pacing and turned to face me fully. Her expression was cold, calculated. This was not the woman I had proposed to on bended knee at Cary Park, with the Space Needle glittering behind us. This was someone I barely recognized. "You want to know why, Terrence?" Her voice dropped low, dangerous. "Because you are not enough." The words hung in the air between us, heavy and cruel. "Not enough," she repeated, as if testing how much damage she could inflict. "You are a good guy, sure, stable, safe. But is that really what a woman wants? Safety, predictability. Someone who comes home at 5:30 every day and thinks Thai takeout is romantic." Each word was a knife carefully placed. I stood frozen, unable to process what was happening. Then she smiled. Actually smiled, and said the words that would change everything. "You think you are my only option, Terrence." The question hung in the air like smoke after a gunshot. Time seemed to slow down. I could hear my own heartbeat loud and insistent in my ears. Could hear the hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. Could hear the distant sound of traffic from the street below. Everything became hyper-real, hyper-focused. I did not answer. Could not answer. My throat had closed up, my tongue felt thick and useless. Jessica took my silence as weakness. Her smile widened, turned cruel. "I have plenty of options, Terrence. Successful men who actually have ambition. Men who know how to treat a woman right. Men who make me feel alive." She emphasized each phrase like she was savoring it, like she enjoyed watching me break. "David, for instance." The name dropped casually like she was mentioning the weather. "He is the new marketing director. Drives a BMW. Takes me to restaurants you could never afford. Actually listens when I talk about my career goals." David. So that was who D was. "He appreciates me." She continued circling me now like a predator. "He sees my potential. He does not just see me as some accessory to his boring routine life." I wanted to speak, to defend myself, to ask how long this had been going on, but something kept me quiet. Maybe it was shock. Maybe it was the sudden realization that the woman in front of me was a stranger. "What, nothing to say?" She laughed high and sharp. "Typical. You just stand there, take it, never fight back." "That is your problem, Terrence. No backbone, no fire. Just sad acceptance of whatever life hands you." She grabbed her purse from the hook by the door. "I am going to stay at a friend's place tonight. I need space from this suffocating relationship." A friend's place? Right. David's place, more accurately. She walked past me toward the bedroom, presumably to pack an overnight bag. That was when I saw it. Her phone lying face up on the couch cushion where she had been sitting. She had been so eager to hurt me, so confident in her cruelty, that she forgot to take it with her. I should not have looked. Every decent part of me said to leave it alone, to respect her privacy, even as she shredded my heart. But my hand reached out anyway, almost of its own accord. The screen was still unlocked, and right there at the top of her messages was David's name. Not D. His full name. David Chen, Marketing Director. No, wait. I cannot use Chen. Let me change that. David Morrison, Marketing Director. I tapped it. My hands were shaking, but I tapped it anyway. The messages loaded. Months of them. Starting from 3 months ago, right around the time Jessica started coming home late. The first few were innocent enough, work-related stuff. Then they got friendlier, more personal. Then about 2 months and the tone shifted completely. I cannot stop thinking about yesterday. You are incredible. When can I see you again? Your place or mine? God, I am sitting in this meeting pretending to care about Q2 projections when all I can think about is you. Photos, not just flirty selfies. Intimate photos. The kind that left nothing to imagination. I scrolled further, my stomach churning. There was one from last week that made me stop breathing. Jessica had written, I cannot wait until this wedding is over. The venue deposit was a fortune, and my parents invited everyone who matters for my career. Once we get through it and I have the photos and the connections, we can figure out what is next. David replied, Your fiancé still clueless, Jessica, completely. He is too nice to even suspect anything. Honestly, David, I do not know why I said yes to him in the first place. Financial stability, I guess. He paid off my student loans, got me this apartment, but you make me feel things he never could. David, just a few more months, babe. Then you can dump the dead weight and we can go public. I read that exchange 3 times. Each time the words cut deeper. She was using me, planning to use me. The wedding was not about love or commitment. It was about appearances, career networking, and keeping me around until she had extracted everything valuable. The bedroom door opened. Jessica emerged with a small overnight bag, barely glancing in my direction. She was texting again on a second phone I had not noticed before. A burner, probably. Then she realized what I was holding. Her primary phone. Her face went from annoyed to shocked to furious in about 2 seconds. How dare you go through my phone? She dropped the bag and lunged for it, but I stepped back, keeping it out of reach. So David Morrison is your better option. My voice came out eerily calm, detached, like I was asking about the weather. She froze, realizing I had read everything. For a split second, I thought I saw guilt flash across her features, shame, regret. But it vanished as quickly as it appeared, replaced by defiance. She snatched the phone from my hand. You do not understand. David is everything you are not. He is confident, he is powerful, he actually makes me feel alive. Her voice was rising now, defensive and sharp. Do you know what it is like being with someone so bland? So predictable, I wake up every day knowing exactly what you will say, what you will do, what you will wear. There are no surprises with you, Terrence. No excitement, no passion. She was trying to make this my fault, trying to justify betrayal with boredom. I was going to tell you after the wedding anyway. She said it so casually, like she was discussing weekend plans. I need the wedding for my career image. My boss is coming, 3 major clients, my entire professional network. The photos alone will be invaluable for my social media presence. After that, we can reevaluate our relationship. Reevaluate. What a clinical word for planned abandonment. She stepped closer, her expression shifting to something almost pitying. Face it, Terrence, you need me more than I need you. Who else is going to marry you, a boring software engineer with no social life? You should be grateful I even stayed this long. She picked up her overnight bag, confident she had won. That she could say these things, destroy me, and still keep me as her backup plan. Her safety net, her financial supporter. She turned toward the door, her hand on the knob, and that was when something inside me shifted. Not broke, shifted. Like a gear clicking into place. Like waking up from a dream I had not realized I was having. You are right, Jessica. She paused, hand still on the doorknob, and glanced back over her shoulder. Confusion crossed her face. This was not the response she expected. I watched the confusion ripple across Jessica's features. She had expected tears, maybe. Begging, possibly. Anger, certainly. But agreement that threw her off balance. I am... What? She said slowly, turning to face me fully. You are right. I repeated the words, letting them settle between us. My heart was pounding, but my mind had never been clearer. You are absolutely right. You are not my only option. I walked past her to the kitchen counter where my laptop sat. She watched me unsure now, her confidence wavering for the first time that evening. And more importantly, I continued opening my laptop and pulling up my email. I am not going to be yours anymore. What are you doing? Her voice had lost its sharp edge, replaced by something uncertain. I did not answer immediately. Instead, I started typing, email after email. My fingers moved across the keyboard with purpose, with finality. Each click of the keys felt like freedom. Terrence, what are you doing? She repeated louder this time. I am canceling the wedding venue. I said it matter-of-factly without looking at her. I paid the deposit, remember, $5,000. It is all under my name. The Rainier Room at the Fairmont Olympic. Beautiful space. Would have been a lovely wedding. But you know what, I think they can find another couple to book it. Her face went pale. You cannot do that. Actually, I can. It is my money, my reservation, my decision. I hit send on the first email, then moved to the next one. Now I am contacting the caterer. Another $3,000 down, the photographer $1,500, the string quartet we hired for the ceremony $800. Terrence, stop. She dropped her bag and moved toward me, but I held up a hand. The flowers, the cake, the bar service. Everything is under my credit card, Jessica. Every single vendor. Because when you said you wanted to help plan, you meant you wanted to pick things out while I paid for them. I was fine with that. It was our wedding after all, or so I thought. My fingers kept moving, kept typing. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Each email a nail in the coffin of the life I had thought we were building. My parents invited everyone. Her voice cracked. My boss is coming. 3 major clients. I told you this is important for my career. Your career. I finally looked at her. Really looked at her. That is what this wedding was about, was it not? Not love. Not commitment. Just networking opportunities and Instagram photos. She opened her mouth to argue, then closed it. Because we both knew it was true. I picked up my phone, scrolling through my contacts. You know what else I should probably do? Call my lawyer. Good guy. Helped me with the apartment lease. I bet he would be very interested in discussing property division and breach of trust. I dialed. It rang twice before a familiar voice answered. Mr. Patterson. It is Terrence Walsh. I am sorry to call so late, but I need to discuss some urgent matters about property division and a possible breach of trust situation. Jessica's eyes went wide. Wait. Terrence, wait. Let us talk about this. I held up one finger, gesturing for her to wait while I spoke to the lawyer. Yes, I can meet Monday morning. 9 works perfectly. Thank you. I hung up and looked at Jessica. She was standing in the middle of our living room, her overnight bag forgotten by the door, her expression cycling through emotions too fast to track. Panic, anger, desperation. I did not mean what I said. She started, her voice taking on a pleading tone I had never heard before. David means nothing. It was stupid. A mistake. I was confused. Confused, I repeated flatly. For 3 months you were confused. It did not mean anything. Really, because your texts suggest otherwise. The ones where you called me dead weight. Where you planned to use me for the wedding and dump me after. Those seemed pretty clear to me. She stepped closer, reaching for my arm. I stepped back. We can work through this, she said desperately. Couples therapy? We can go to couples therapy. I will end things with David right now. I will block him. I will do whatever you want. I shook my head slowly. You were right earlier. I am not your only option. But guess what? Now you are not even an option for me anymore. Her face crumpled. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Then I remembered the cruelty in her voice when she said those things. The satisfaction in her eyes when she thought she had me trapped. There is something else you should know, I said, pulling my phone back out. While you were in the bedroom packing your bag, I did a little research about David Morrison. Your confident, powerful, exciting David. I pulled up a Facebook profile I had found, showed her the screen. He is married, Jessica, 3 kids. His wife's name is Patricia Morrison. And you know what is really interesting? Patricia Morrison is the vice president of marketing at your company, your boss's boss. The color drained from Jessica's face completely. She stared at the screen at the family photos of David with his wife and children, at the posts about soccer games and school recitals. I forwarded your entire text conversation to her, I said quietly. About 20 minutes ago, while you were busy telling me how boring I am. I figured she had a right to know what her husband was doing during all those late-night strategy sessions. You did not. Her voice was barely a whisper. I did. And judging by the fact that she already replied saying thank you, and that she will be contacting her divorce attorney, I would say she was very interested in that information. Jessica sank onto the couch, her phone slipping from her hands. She was shaking now, the full weight of consequences crashing down on her. Her career, her relationship with David, her wedding, all of it evaporating in real time. She is your boss's boss, I said, driving the point home. How do you think your professional reputation is going to look when word gets around that you were sleeping with a married executive, that you helped him cheat on the VP? Think those career connections are still going to matter? She did not answer. Could not answer. She just sat there staring at nothing. I walked to the door, opened it wide. You have 30 minutes to pack your things. The lease is in my name. I paid the security deposit first and last month's rent. This is my apartment. After 30 minutes, I am calling building security to remove you. Where am I supposed to go? Her voice sounded small, lost. I do not know, Jessica. Maybe David's place? Oh, wait, his wife probably kicked him out too. I guess you will have to figure it out. You are resourceful. You will find another option. You always said you had plenty. She looked at me, then really looked at me, and I saw it finally click. The realization that she had lost. That her cruelty had boomeranged back and destroyed everything she had been trying to protect. She stood slowly, mechanically, and walked toward the bedroom to pack. No more arguments, no more bargaining, just defeat. I sat on the couch listening to drawers open and clothes hangers scraping against the closet rod. My laptop was still open in front of me, confirmation emails rolling in. Venue canceled, caterer canceled, photographer canceled. Each one felt like lifting weight off my shoulders. 28 minutes later, Jessica emerged with 2 suitcases. Her makeup was smeared, eyes red from crying. She looked at me one more time, maybe hoping I would change my mind, would say this was all a terrible mistake. I said nothing, just held the door open. She walked out without a word. The door clicked shut behind her, and just like that, she was gone. I stood there for a moment, letting the silence wash over me. Then I walked to the window, looked out at Elliott Bay at the lights reflecting on the water. The view looked different somehow, clearer. My phone buzzed. A text from Marcus, my best friend. Dude, you okay? Sarah called me. She said you might need company. I smiled, texted back. Come over, bring beer. I've got one hell of a story to tell you. The first week after Jessica left was strange. Not painful exactly. More like emerging from a fog I had not realized I was in. The apartment felt bigger, quieter, but not empty. For the first time in months, I could breathe without wondering if I was doing something wrong. Sarah, my younger sister, showed up the next morning with coffee and bagels. She did not ask questions, did not push. She just sat with me on the couch while I told her everything. When I finished, she hugged me tight and said, I never liked her anyway. She ordered her bagels scooped out. That is psychopath behavior. I laughed, actually laughed. It felt good. Marcus came over that evening with Chinese takeout and 2 6-packs of local IPA. We sat on the balcony watching the ferries cross the bay, and he said something I needed to hear. Bro, you dodged a bullet. She never deserved you. Anyone who treats love like a business transaction is not worth your time. Over the next few days, the fallout from my decisions became clear. Sarah, who still had mutual friends with Jessica through a book club, heard through the grapevine that David had indeed been kicked out by his wife. Patricia Morrison had filed for divorce within 48 hours. She also filed a formal complaint with HR about workplace misconduct. By the end of week 2, both Jessica and David had been fired. The company could not keep them on after the scandal broke. Apparently, office relationships between executives and subordinates violated multiple policies, especially when one party was married. Jessica tried to contact me 6 times that second week. Calls, texts, even an email. Each message grew more desperate. Terrence, please, I'm sorry. I made a terrible mistake. I lost my job. I have nowhere to go. My parents are furious with me. Can we please just talk? I need you. I blocked her number after the sixth message. Changed my locks just in case she still had a key I did not know about. Marcus suggested I get a security camera for the hallway, so I did. Better safe than sorry. Sarah stayed with me for those first 2 weeks sleeping in the guest room, making sure I ate actual meals instead of surviving on coffee and spite. She was a nurse, worked long shifts at Harborview, but she still found time to check on me every day. You know what you need, she said one evening, chopping vegetables for stir fry. You need to remember who you were before her, the Terrence who went hiking every weekend, who tried to learn guitar, who actually had hobbies. She was right. I had lost myself somewhere in trying to make Jessica happy, trying to be enough for someone who had already decided I never would be. So I started hiking again. Every Saturday morning I would drive to Tiger Mountain or Rattlesnake Ledge, just me and the trail and the trees. No phone, no distractions, just movement and quiet and the slow rebuilding of myself. I signed up for a cooking class at PCC Community Markets, Italian cuisine. Learned to make fresh pasta from scratch to properly sear a steak to balance flavors in a risotto. The instructor, an older Italian woman named Rosa, reminded me that cooking was an act of love. For others, yes, but also for yourself. Marcus dragged me to his gym, got me into weightlifting. I hated it at first. My body ached, my form was terrible, and I felt self-conscious, surrounded by people who looked like they lived there. But after a few weeks, I started to feel stronger. Not just physically. The discipline of showing up, pushing through discomfort, seeing progress, it translated to everything else. Work became a refuge instead of routine. I threw myself into a new project, an app redesign that had been languishing for months. My focus sharpened. Without the constant anxiety of wondering if Jessica was cheating, if I was failing her, somehow my productivity skyrocketed. My boss noticed. 2 months in, I got promoted as senior engineer with a significant raise. Around month 3, Sarah mentioned that she heard Jessica was living with her parents, working retail while looking for another marketing position. Turns out getting fired for an affair with a married executive does not look great on a resume. David apparently had moved back to California. His wife got the house, the kids, and most of the assets. I felt nothing hearing that news. Not satisfaction, not pity, just nothing. She had become irrelevant to my life. Month 4. Something unexpected happened. I met someone, not romantically, not yet anyway. But I was at a coffee shop near the office working on my laptop when a woman at the next table asked if I could watch her stuff, while she took a phone call outside. We started chatting when she came back. Her name was Amy. She was a graphic designer new to Seattle, funny and easy to talk to. We exchanged numbers, grabbed coffee the next week, then dinner, then a hike. It was casual, friendly, no pressure. But there was something there, a possibility, a reminder that connection did not have to be complicated or painful. I was not ready for anything serious, and I told her that up front. She appreciated the honesty, said she was not either. We just enjoyed each other's company, no expectations, no games. It felt refreshing. Simple in a way things with Jessica never were. 6 months after that terrible night, I was sitting on my balcony with a beer, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Terrence, this is Jessica. I know you blocked me. I am using a friend's phone. I just wanted to say I am sorry. For everything. You did not deserve what I did to you. I was selfish and cruel and stupid. I do not expect you to forgive me. I just needed you to know that I realize now what I lost. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are happy. You deserve to be happy. I read it twice. Considered responding. Then deleted it and went back to watching the sunset. Maybe a year ago that message would have meant something, would have opened old wounds or sparked hope for closure. But now it was just noise from a past that no longer had power over me. I learned something crucial through all of this. Sometimes the trash really does take itself out. Sometimes people show you exactly who they are, and the kindest thing you can do for yourself is believe them. Jessica showed me she was someone who valued appearances over authenticity, transactions over connection. And when I finally accepted that truth, when I stopped trying to fix something that was fundamentally broken, I found freedom. The next morning, I woke up early, went for a run around Green Lake, came home, and made myself breakfast. Mushroom omelet with fresh herbs from the little balcony garden I had started. Coffee pressed just right. Music playing softly in the background. I looked around my apartment at the space I had reclaimed as my own. At the bookshelves I had reorganized, at the photos of hikes with Marcus and Sarah at the guitar, I had finally learned to play with some competence. This was my life now. Not perfect, not some fairy tale redemption, just real, just mine. And that was enough. More than enough. I thought about Jessica's question from that night. You think you are my only option. Turns out I was never an option she truly valued in the first place. But in losing her and standing up for myself and walking away from someone who tried to make me feel small, I found something far more valuable. I found myself again. I found self-respect. I found the understanding that love should never require you to diminish who you are. And you know what? That is worth more than any wedding ring, any relationship built on lies, any person who sees you as a backup plan instead of a partner. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had someone in your life who made you question your worth? Someone who made you feel like you were not enough? How did you handle it? Drop your story in the comments. And if this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe, because I share real stories about real life every week. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, who needs that reminder that they are worth more than how someone else treats them. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being here. I hope wherever you are in life, whatever you are dealing with, you remember this. You are not someone's backup plan. You are not someone's safety net. You deserve someone who chooses you clearly and consistently without hesitation. Take care of yourself out there. And remember, sometimes losing someone is actually finding yourself.